Welcome to Inside New York.
That's a great question. Thank you.
Hi, this is Shaka Khan, and you're watching Inside New York.
And this year's Tony Awards is the biggest night on Broadway.
And I'm on Inside New York.
Welcome to Inside New York. We are thrilled to have back on Inside New York a veteran Broadway stage and screen actor. And he's here today to talk about his latest project, directing August Wilson's Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award winning play, Fences. We welcome back Arthur French. Thank you.
Thank you for having me back. It's always good to be here, Joan. Inside New York.
Yes, exactly. And you are inside, and I'm glad that we've got you back on Inside New York. You know, I've been wanting to have you back for quite some time, so we didn't need an excuse, though. We finally caught up with you. Yes. With something, though, it's a very short run, so I want to make sure everybody's aware of this right away, that Fences is at the Morningside Players.
Which is at 100 LaSalle Street. And
Right.
That's between sort of 123rd and 125th on Broadway.
Okay, yes, and that's the Morningside Players. Now, I'm going to cut right to the chase because, you know, everyone knows of your acting ability as one of the most sought-after actors on the stage and screen. And I must also say that you're celebrating 50 years in theater, so congratulations.
Thank you. You know, I started when I was 2.
Exactly, that's right, because I said before that you don't look a day older than it was when I first had you in the studio,
Oh my
which
gosh.
had to be at least 15 years ago.
Yeah, but I had more hair then.
Yeah, maybe, and I can think it was a little blacker.
Okay.
Okay, but you're directing now, and this is actually not your first foray into directing.
No, it isn't.
But why directing now, and why Fences?
Well, I've always directed, believe it or not. I had more time to act, and I kind of moved forward in that. But I directed a production of Fences at the Weston Playhouse in Vermont. And I've directed all along, but the acting took over more than the directing. But of course, it's always a privilege and a joy to do August Wilson. You discover more things every time you go back to revisit his work. You know, I first saw it, and then I directed a production, and now 5 years later I'm directing it again. It all seems new and exciting and things you didn't see before.
And when you saw the original production of Fences,
yes,
correct?
Yes, I did.
So with James Earl Jones, and I only can imagine how phenomenal that was.
Yeah, and Mary Alice.
And Mary Alice, yes, another veteran.
Yeah, so I think he manages to combine poetry, black life, and he makes people who are not all good or all bad, who do some great things and do some terrible things, as we all do.
Yes.
And so he just makes people human and trying to live their lives in whatever decade he's dealing with.
Exactly. This is what I have found and why I miss him so today, and it's been now close to 5 years, that he humanizes these flawed characters, and nobody goes unscathed.
No.
And that's a very difficult thing to do, especially when it comes to African Americans. It's easy to fall into stereotypes, or even as Caucasians in their interaction. But I think that, white and black audiences adore his work because they see themselves in that work, and or they know of these characters. It may not be them, but they know of these people. They're not foreign
I
to
think
them.
that's part of the beauty of it, that we do know these people.
Yes.
And we do see them fighting the battle of their time, sort of. Fences takes place mostly in the 50s. And what was the situation then? There's a lot of talk, this not giving anything, about baseball and what the baseball situation was, and then whether the blacks who were in, how many were in, and how they did, and his own participation in the sport. So we bring in...
This is the main character. For those who may not be familiar with the story of Fences, why don't you just give them a very brief synopsis of Fences, that story?
Well, the story is that it's a man who's middle-aged. He's in his 50s, and he had played baseball. He learned while he was in prison, actually. And so he comes out, and he has a double feeling about it. It's wonderful that there are now some black people playing, but he missed his opportunities somehow because of his age. He just, they say in the play, he was born too soon. And so he's fighting through his son, who now wants to be a football player, and who he doesn't want to face the same disappointments and heartache and that he had to face. So he tries to help his son, who is a new generation and is thinking differently. And every generation, of course, knows more than the generation before. What do our parents know? You know, they're old people.
Right.
So it also brings in that issue of father-son. You know, that's the first man you have to battle in your life, is your father.
Right.
And to stand up for. So he deals with family problems, social problems, personal problems, issues that affect us all. So it's not just your family. How's your job? You want to improve on your employment. Even in today's paper, they're talking about improving employee wages and things. So there are problems that change but don't change.
Yes, his issues are always current. When did you first become acquainted with August Wilson's work?
I went up to see a friend of mine do Ma Rainey's Black Bottom up at Yale.
Right.
And I just fell in love with it there. In fact, I spoke to my friend and told him how much I was, you know, taken by the play. So he mentioned it to Lloyd Richards, and I ended up understudying on Broadway when it came here. But my first introduction made me fall in love with him.
Okay, and looking back, what was it about Ma Rainey that just, you know, tugged at your heartstrings?
Well, again, it's about a woman in her time, recording, not getting the recognition, and not getting the proper respect.
Familiar story.
Yeah, and so in her time of trying to make the recording session should go to the star, not to whether we need to get out. If she needs a sandwich, you have to stop. And there's a young man again who wants to change the way she sings, change the way the band plays, change the arrangements. And there's always that young, aggressive person who wants to, which is good, move along and go into what is now the new generation, or try to change what's been done or how it's been done. So in all of his plays, those issues remain the same, even though the decade is different and the problems are different.
And you ended up getting 2 roles.
Yeah, I understudied
right?
2 parts in it, and I did a couple of his plays myself. So it's always good to revisit. Sometimes when you go back, you say, did I read this play before? I don't remember this. But of course it was there, but it's so steeped and so deep in its presentation that it seems new all over again, which is why people keep doing it.
Thank you again, and we celebrate you.
And come see Fences if you can.
Exactly. We actually have a poster and tickets. Most importantly, we have ticket giveaways, and we also have a poster. But you can win a pair of tickets if you can tell us why Fences is your favorite August Wilson play and or why Arthur French is one of your favorite actors. Yes. And why you must see this play, which is only running for 2 weeks, from May 14th, I believe it is.
Till the 29th, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's opening this weekend, and you can email us, that is Inside New York, at insidenewyork@yahoo.com. I haven't given that out in a long time because we're using social media these days, which is the fastest way to enter your requests for tickets, and that's on Facebook at Joan Allen and on Twitter at Arts in New York. So, but now Arthur French is going to sign a poster, and if you can answer both of those questions, you just may win one of those posters.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Arthur.
Always a
great
joy.
to see you.
I'll sign it up here so
Yeah, well, you can see it. You have to, take that
I'll
off.
fly right in the garden. That's what I'll do. I'll just have.
And Fences runs May 14th through the 31st at the Morningside Players in Harlem.